Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so my last how-to video actually came off without much of a problem, so I decided to actually bring you another. In my last one, I discussed how to solve that 0xC0000001 error code. In this one, I'm basically going to give you an overview of how to solve most internet and computer problems via software. And actually, most of it isn't too much of a problem. And how you're going to do this is various things. Now, all these videos, I'm not going to babysit you through the steps that you should probably already know. So I'm not going to tell you how to do yours because there's hundreds of different server connectors and various Ethernet devices streaming from different companies and all sorts of different things that you and I couldn't get right if we had 100 years to do one of these videos. So this is all at your own risk, as it probably always has been. But if your computer is slow, they always tell you to run out and buy a new software that nobody's ever heard of. If your internet's slow, there will always be advertisements for software you've never heard of. And for various problems thereof relating to file shutting down premature, your internet cutting in and out, all kinds of different things require different approaches. But I'm going to basically give you an overview because there's a lot of things that I actually do to keep mine up and running when I can. Now, unfortunately, you can't solve all the problems. If you have a massive power outage in your area, your computer will probably work, your internet will probably be down. That is just the way it is. Unless you have a mobile hotspot, that is basically your solution. But that is not how this video is going to go. I'm going to speak to you as if you were a grown adult who knows at least something about what kind of bandwidth they have, what kind of download speed, what kind of upload speed, and everything else they have. I'm not concerned so much about the number crunching and the bean counting. As long as you can log on, go to a web page, look at something, and then turn off your computer or leave it on. It's up to you what your speeds are and what you feel comfortable with. But one of the things I really want to talk to you about is your overall performance and your overall ability to solve these problems. And what I want to go over, I have a few things noted. Slow internet and slow computer, I've already mentioned. Internet spyware and malware, this will solve at least some or most of those problems. Internet connection problems, computer problems, this will solve at least some or most of those. If you've already completed defrag, SFC, check disk, and all your CMD functions, you might actually know what the problem is, and it probably isn't on your end, but I'm going to offer you guys a better solution. In fact, I'm going to offer you several solutions in this one instead of the one and only solution I offered you in the last video. So, in today's world of digital encryption and internet piracy, whether it's by government intrusion or private intrusion, or any number of hackers and individuals thereof, you need to do this probably every couple of weeks, especially if your computer has been running slow. And what I'm going to basically say is going to be, depending on the situation, what you should be doing no matter what. Like you have a bunch of plugs and stuff in your house that needs to be changed up every once in a while, or you have a phone cord that stopped working that you plug your your Android or your iPhone or your gaming system into. You need to do maintenance on everything, and the best way to work on something is basically from the ground up. If your internet's running, you're not going to unplug everything. If your internet's been spotty, yeah, you may want to unplug your internet and let it sit. If you've had a lot of strange things going on with your electricity and your internet connection and your computer running and your lights and everything, that's more than likely a power issue, and you need to contact your power company along with your internet service provider. So there's a whole list of different things to do here, folks. But if you know that you're not looking at anything weird and your family isn't, looking at anything weird, you should have generally good internet, and occasionally you're going to have some problems. Pictures being downloaded off the internet, whether, risque or not, are always going to have malware, viruses, trojans, worms. Things downloaded off the internet are always going to have those things. And I do have actual solutions for you. So one of the things I want to really talk to you about is an overall solution. It's taken me a while to find the right softwares. It's taken me a while to find the right solutions to some of these problems. Whether it be slow computers, slow internet, any number of things. Now, there's almost no reason for a slow computer nowadays. A slow computer back in the early 2000s, late 90s was easily, without hesitation, software problems relating to your memory and your memory getting ready to be used up. But in today's world, I have a laptop I run these on with, let's see here, let's see if it even lists anything. 4 gigabyte DDR3L memory and 500 gigabyte HDD memory. Or 500 gigabyte HDD, that's my, So anyways, I'm running on a very basic laptop, and I'm running this very well. And one of the things you need to know is that it isn't always your hardware. You can have, like my old 90s dinosaur I'll bring into the next one of these I do, and I'll show you how it still works. Well, it has Windows XP. I haven't uploaded anything major to it, and it can't do any of the major functions like run Skype or any of your major apps you're going to want to use, but I'll be honest, it runs on the internet just fine, and I can get it to the internet just fine because I have a computer that I always keep disassembled or at least offline for certain purposes, and I only put it online when I need it. So again, that's part of the safety issues too. If you don't need to have it online, if you don't need your computer on all the time, turn it off, even take the battery out or the power plug, and leave it alone. But this is always going to come down to a software problem, folks. This is going to come down with everything running slow, everything freezing, everything crashing. And that problem generally is you needing to go in and clean your computer. Now, I'm not going to do one of these videos where I take apart a computer for you and show you the ins and outs, because the majority of people looking at these don't want that. They want simple solutions. They want to know, if I unplug this, will this go away? Please tell me yes. They want to know, where do I go to get this solved? And I have to show you, or I have to tell you rather, that unlike the other how-to video, this one should not cost you anything. It shouldn't. However, with that being said, there's a lot of different things to go into. If you're experiencing things like Nope, my bad. Like slow download speeds or upload speeds, your problem is definitely probably your internet and something on your computer contributing to your internet problems. If you have a slow computer, there's probably problems internally. Somebody might have spilled something, you're running out of memory, you haven't deleted your recycling bin in a long time. So real quick, I'll show you how to do that. Well, I may not be able to show you how because Windows 7, 8, 9, all the Windows are a bit different. So what I will do is tell you to, right-click your recycling for that. And remember, don't do this if you don't know what's in there because there might be something valuable. You can go to empty recycling bin, which, is pretty good. You can empty recycle. You can click with your left button or whatever, the other one. You can click on empty recycling bin. Some notice or another, depending on if you're running Mac or PC, will come up and says, "Are you sure you want to permanently delete these items?" Click yes. It'll go through a little different thing, a couple different things, and then your recycling bin, I think they're called something different in Mac, will be emptied, and everything will be good. Sometimes that's not always the easiest solution. And you're just sitting there going, our computer is slow and we don't know why. Please fix this. Come on. You know what to do, right? Right. No, not always. Well, sometimes the best solution, if it's just slow internet, along with a slow computer, you should always probably do this. If you know what you're doing, ladies and gentlemen, disconnect your plugs so that nothing really has to go on, doesn't have to. Just your basic computer. In fact, go into your Wi-Fi settings, turn off your Wi-Fi, and then definitely unplug your internet to your Wi-Fi connectors, because sometimes what it is, you'll get so much traffic in a week or two that even your Wi-Fi device, depending on if you have a modem also with it, is very loaded up, and it needs to basically be powered down for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and, that's your problem. However, don't just do this, because I've had a Linksys router before, and a modem that if you left it unplugged for like 2 hours, your internet would only have to be reset by your ISP. I would have to contact Bright House. They would have to reset it. It was a pain. But especially if you want to run your internet check software and everything else, ladies and gentlemen, this might be something to do. Because what I'm going to show you is actually very good. It's a software. I use it all the time. It's called CC Cleaner. I've used another one off and on here and there, but CC Cleaner offers not one but 2 primary free downloads and a professional version that I've bought and purchased from time to time. But the problem with that purchase, ladies and gentlemen, is that it only works on a number of your computers, and if you're like me and your computer goes down every 6 months, which thank God it doesn't anymore, there isn't anything you can really do, because every single time you use that software, you got to bring back up your computer. What usually happens? Well, it's like using Windows Word or Office or any of these other software programs. You got to enter a new computer, password and everything else, and you're only given like 4 or 5 of them to use, maybe even a certain password to use 3 or 4 times, and then you no longer have access to that software. So that's why I try to use the free version as much as possible. So your savior, ladies and gentlemen, looks like this. Now, this program is actually pretty good, and I happen to like it. I'm not just selling you this. I don't make a dime on this. I'm not promoting this, but this is basically on paraforum.com/ccleaner. And what this will do is this will actually clean up your internet and your computer. This is for Windows, 7, 8, and 10. I'm running this on 10. I had it on my 8. I've used it for 7. I have this on my XP, so this works, folks. This is award-winning PC optimization for internet, for PC, you name it. And then you go and you have an optimization here. You can do your Windows, you can do your applications, and your registry, which would be your Windows. I believe this is also for Mac, so you're actually good on all fronts. They offer 3 different versions. This is what I tell everybody about this. You can come here and click this all you want. I mean, it's nice. It looks good. But reality is, I don't use the premium support. If it automatically updates, I really don't realize it. And I don't really activate it for scheduled cleaning, so I really don't care. As far as real-time monitoring, ladies and gentlemen, everything nowadays is based off some AI script watching your computer from the internet. So Big Brother's in the background no matter what you do, so it doesn't really matter. But if you do end up, what I want to offer you and allow you to see is that you should actually just click the free trial down here. And that way you have it and you can use it and everything is good. If you're not satisfied with that, this one's just fine. I forgot which one of these on mine I've clicked. I'll be completely honest. And so this is actually what you'll need. And really what you'll see, let me see here if I can, here we go. These are all the different little windows depending on if you're running like an XP. I think this is a Windows 7. No, this is XP. This is like Windows. I think this is actually Mac on top. Wow, that's actually amazing. That's like Windows 7. This is Windows 8, I think. So what you actually have here, ladies and gentlemen, depending on what you actually click on, let me see if I can get to one where it actually looks good, is you have a whole bunch of options here as soon as this loads. For your cleaner, you have Windows and you have applications, and it lists a bunch of things you can click. Now, the more you click, the more it's going to be slower. But I like this because the analysis only takes probably less than 5 minutes. And it'll go through all your cookies, all your caches, all your recent documents, all your history, your internet, and just dumps it. I know it doesn't dump everything because your Internet Explorer and things always have where you've been before if you haven't set that up to do anything different. But this will basically take half your internet problems away and half your computer problems because it'll make your computer faster because it won't have all that internet history and internet cache weighing you down and everything. So this is what I recommend. I recommend this to family. I recommend this to friends. I recommend this to everyone. This is what I use. Let's see here. Let's see here one quick second, ladies and gentlemen. So this is what it looks like when it's on your desktop. This is my actual photo. Notice these 1 through 5 were the photos you saw earlier. So this is something I actually use, ladies and gentlemen. It's CC Cleaners by Paraforum. I've used it for probably better part of 2 decades, and I've loved every single time I can actually use it because it's not too hard. It's not going to be advertised on TV, which means they're not making huge sums of money, but it works. And I know people who tell their companies, they need to use this, who work at General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, guys that do the internet for, all sorts of computer and internet for all sorts of things. So CC Cleaner really does help, unless you can sit there and code every file and do everything like that. So as you need to, folks, I would suggest just using the free software first and kind of going from there. So if you're going to download CC Cleaner, either this one or this one. We'll do this one just for the heck of it. Click the Start Download button. It's loading. It's loading. It's still loading. This takes a little while to actually download, but it is well within the means worth the download. So we'll click this. Let's see if we can open. Hang on. I'm getting to it, ladies and gentlemen. So it'll show up in your downloads over here. You'll double click. It'll run through some series of events or another, and it'll say, welcome to CC Cleaner Professional for setup or the regular, depending on what you bought or clicked on. And you'll be taken through steps like this. You'll start off by seeing this, depending on whether or not you clicked the free professional or you bought it or click the other one. It'll say, welcome to CC Cleaner. Setup guide will guide you through the installation. Click next to continue. Come over here, click next. And then you'll basically be guided to something else that looks like this. You'll see install options. This is default, just to let it click everything and let it run. That's what I recommend you do. And then click install. You will see a loading screen with a loading bar. It looks like this. On my computer, it didn't take long. I almost couldn't catch this screen entirely. And then finally, you'll reach an ending screen like this. Completed CC Cleaner. Cleaner has been installed on your computer. Click Finish to close setup. Click Finish. You'll then reach a screen like this. It'll say Setup will guide you through installation. Click Next. So then you'll basically reach a part where it says CC Cleaner, welcome to CC Cleaner. You're seconds away from a safer, faster computer. Start trial. And you can go from there. And basically what I'll do is I'll start my CC Cleaner and I'll show you guys what to do, because this is actually quite important. And this is basically what mine looks like. Let me show you. Ooh, I may not. I may have to go into, yep, I have to actually go into something else. Let me try this. This is what mine looks like. 1 second. And you'll reach this here. Mine says trial version. You have 14 days remaining. And mine actually says that mine is actually for Windows 10, which my system information is here. And everything else is here. And I can analyze, I can run. I suggest you do the cleaner on Windows, and you click this, and then hit cleaner again for the applications. And then you go down here after you analyze and run your cleaner, go to your registry, and you'll be able to analyze and run cleaner at that point. This is not rocket science. It'll take probably 5-10 minutes to test. Do this once a month, you'll probably be better off. So now, you don't always have to disable or unplug your internet and everything else, but once in a while I do. And once in a while I even go full-blown commando on this. And because everything basically goes into your power, you know, if you're running a laptop, you can do this. If you're running a desktop, you can't. But once a month, if you're running a laptop, you have the ability, if you have a full battery or nearly a full battery, to run this and similar things without your power on, going to your fuse box and turning off the main power, just so that anybody who might be hacking your computer through your family's electricity gets completely cut off. They have no internet access because not only your Wi-Fi unplugged, but everything else is down. And then I'd go over here and I'd make sure your Wi-Fi is off your computer, and make sure you have airplane mode on or whatever your system is. I mean, I would just go completely crazy to get this done. I used to have something, I forget what it is or what it was, but I used to have a box I made for some class or another when I was in grade school, and it would basically shield anything inside from electronic interference, and I built it like that for something I was building. I forget what it was. And so what I used to do is I used to put it over my internet box or my laptop at that time, and basically nobody could get in or out. I'd run these programs, I'd have my internet off, I'd do all kinds of things. But I would not recommend doing anything you don't feel comfortable with doing, because you might have to call somebody in to plug it all back in. It's never a good thing. I've had to do that several times. Or what you do is you forget you unplug something, you leave it off too long, and you go to plug it all back in and nothing works because either your battery in that device died, or there's a certain time frame in which a switch comes in, and now you got to contact your internet service provider. People are wondering what's going on. You got vans parked outside your house, all kinds of weird things going on. I wouldn't recommend any of these. I would just use the simple solutions I've talked to you about. CC Cleaner is great. Clearing your cache is always good. If you don't know about, if you're having some slow internet problem, sometimes you go into CMD and type ipconfig / flush DNS and hit enter. It'll go through and it'll flush your DNS, and It'll get anybody that's encroaching on you off for that time period. But I'm probably in the midst of writing another code or something where I can go online and type in my CMD to do that and keep doing that. Like every 2 seconds I'm online, just so that nobody can go on my line while I'm on it. But at that point, it is technically hacking, even though you're not hacking yours or your internet. You're just basically saying, leave me alone, 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 leave me alone. And that works. So these are some ways to help solve internet and computer problems. Your best option is to almost have a computer that you always have unplugged, always have off, never use, that you can boot up. Like I have this old 1990s, early 2000s dinosaur that I can put up if I need to, but it will not allow me to do videos and stuff like this. I would have to do something completely different. But it would allow me on the internet to find out what the heck's going on in the world. So, thank you.